Hello? 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 Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Say, why can't you speak, man? If you are not speaking, I think I got disconnected.
Yes, sir, you are there, sir.
First of all, do you have any doubts?
Only 10 members.
Why like that, sir?
The math class is going on, sir.
Why the hell maths class will go on? It is my time, right?
Yeah, sir is taking.
Which sir? Which
Sharma, sir.
He
Why
stopped,
Sharma
sir.
will interview into my time?
He's not.
Oh, it should. He is bound to stop. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. First, do you have any doubts in hydrogen and its compounds? Yes, sir. Hello. See, all of you are allowed to talk. If you don't talk, I feel very bad.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes.
Now tell me, sir, hydrogen and its compounds, do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Sir, yesterday paper discussion, sir.
Yesterday paper
Yes,
I
sir.
don't have with me. You have paper means you upload it, I'll put it in the net and I'll discuss. You just send across to me. Okay? Okay. That paper I will discuss. Today paper discussion. That's what I will take up, no problem. But I want to tell you some 3 important questions in organic. By the time you complete this, I will complete my work. All of you, I have a question like. Sir, what is this, sir? Hello, what is this? Hello? What is this?
The DNA.
DNA,
sir.
DNA, sir, DNA.
DNA is made up of with nitrogen containing bases called purines and pyrimidines. Okay, my question is, can I find the percentage of nitrogen in these bases by using Jeld-Hall method? That's the question. Answer can be yes or no. What is your choice, sir? To find the percentage of nitrogen, we have 2 methods. One is called Dumas method, where nitrogen is converted to N2 gas, and you will find out how much is there. Second method is Jeld-Hall method, where you convert the nitrogen into ammonia gas. You know, every 17 grams of ammonia has 14 grams of nitrogen. From this fact, you find the percentage of nitrogen. So my question is, DNA contain nitrogen containing bases called adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. There are 4 types of bases: adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine. Don't worry about them. Always adenine is bound to thymine, guanine is bound to cytosine. The adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine are nitrogen containing organic bases. Can I find the percentage of nitrogen in these bases using Jeld-Hall method? Am I very clear about my question, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Now, what is your answer? And you justify why it is so.
Sir, Jeld-Hall method cannot be used for nitrogen which is present in rings or connected to azo groups.
Why, sir?
Because we cannot.
all of you, if you kindly look at the screen, you can see the nitrogen containing bases: cytosine, thymine, uracil, guanine, adenosine. Please look at the structures. In the structure of adenine, sir, how many nitrogens are there? All the nitrogens which are present in adenine are locked in a cyclic system. There is a system that has two rings. One ring contains 6 atoms in the ring. Other ring contains 5 atoms in the ring. One is a 6-membered ring. The other one is 5-membered ring. Can we see it clearly, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can see.
Therefore, whenever the
Yes, sir.
nitrogen is a part of the ring, when nitrogen is also present as N double bond N, compounds where N double bond exists are called diazo compounds. Diazo compounds and the compounds where nitrogen is a part of ring cannot be estimated using the Jaldhal method. Therefore, the percentage of nitrogen in adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine cannot be computed using Jaldhal method. Are we seeing this clearly, sir?
Yes, sir.
Also, I
Yes.
want you to notice
Why, sir?
the purines are having 2-membered rings and the pyrimidines have 1-membered ring. It means in the ring there is only one cycle in purine. I mean, in pyrimidines, purines have 2 rings. Purine is having 2 rings and pyrimidine is having only 1 ring. Whenever nitrogen is a part of the ring, it's cannot be estimated using Jaldhal method. It is given in the NCERT book, if you remember correctly. Do you remember it correctly, sir?
Remember, sir. Remember.
Hello?
Remember, sir.
Now, I wanted you to understand, sir, what is Jaldhal method? What is Jaldhal method? It is a method to find percentage of nitrogen in organic compound. What is done in this method? Organic compound is added with concentrated sulfuric acid and strongly heated. When it is heated, all the nitrogen will become ammonium sulfate. When ammonium sulfate is formed, you add NaOH. All the ammonium sulfate will be converted to ammonia. This ammonia, you find out what amount you got. Suppose from 5 grams of organic compound, I got 0.2 grams of ammonia. Now, what is the percentage of nitrogen? I would say in ammonia, nitrogen atomic weight is 14. 3 hydrogens weight is equal to 3. In 17 grams of ammonia, how many grams of nitrogen is there, sir?
Oh, yes, sir.
14
14
grams.
grams of nitrogen is there in 17 grams of ammonia. I got 0.2 grams of ammonia out of 5 grams of organic. How much organic compound is it? Hello. 100 grams has how much? Okay.
Yes,
Amman
sir.
class Nama, if you don't mind. Okay. Na class 12:30 daga. Okay, thank you. Okay. Sir, if you simplify it, you get the answer. It is 20 into 14 by 17 into 5. 4 4s are 16 roughly. 3.5. Can you see it, sir? Hello, can you see how I'm simplifying? Roughly 3.5%. Are we very clear about this idea, sir?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, how do you know that it has 0.2 grams of ammonia? There is a method called a titration. What is that method? Titration.
Titration.
Using titrimetric methods, you try to find out the amount of ammonia present. We have a shortcut formula also for that. Anyway, we will not be going there at this point of time. But I'm saying Jaldal method cannot be used to find the percentage of nitrogen in DNA and RNA. It cannot be used to evaluate nitrogen percentage in organic compounds which has nitrogen as a part of ring. Also, nitrogen in diazo compounds which have N double bond. Because when these compounds are treated with sulfuric acid, nitrogen would not become ammonia, it will become N2 gas and get out partially. When a part of the nitrogen is going out, your calculation is bound to go wrong. You got my idea, sir? Then you are wondering, sir, from where you got all these questions? Long ago, I suggested you to use this particular book. I shared this book with you, if you remember. Now, what is this book, sir? What is this book, sir?
Crash course.
What is this book? It is not crash course. It is NCERT exemplar problems. This particular book has all the 6 types of problems. First type is long question and answers. Long questions. I will show you long questions. What is meant by hybridization? Compound CS2 double bond C double bond CH to contain sp or sp2 hybridized carbon atoms. Will it be planar molecule? That is the first question. What is meant by hybridization, sir?
Intermixing of atomic orbitals of almost same energy to give new hybrid orbitals of same energy.
The intermixing of atomic orbitals to give strongly directional HOs of identical energy, which make strong sigma covalent bonds by overlapping with other AOs or HOs is called hybridization. This hybridization scheme will give you the orbitals which can have strong directional property and which are identical and which make strong sigma covalent bonds. Normally, if you take a pure s orbital with another pure s orbital, it may not be able to give a strong sigma bond because one spherical s orbital may not be able to overlap with another spherical s orbital because you can't place one ball over another ball because balls are spherical. They don't overlap properly. To avoid this problem of overlap, atomic orbitals try to intermix and give strongly directional hybrid orbitals which make strong sigma covalent bonds by overlapping with either other atomic orbitals or other hybrid orbitals. Are we very clear? Hybrid orbital never makes a pi bond. It makes only sigma bonds. Okay.
Yes.
So when I take this molecule called CS2 double bond C double bond CH2, this type of molecules are called allenes. IUPAC name of this compound is prop-1,2-diene. In this, the first carbon is sp2 hybridized because it is making a pi bond in one direction. The second carbon is making one pi bond in right hand direction another pi bond in left-hand direction. Any carbon that makes 2 pi bonds is sp hybridized. And the last carbon is making only 1 pi bond with another carbon. It is also sp2. This molecule has a structure like this. Now, is it planar? Do you think all atoms are lying in the same plane?
Yes, sir.
Answer is no. Why no? I want you to understand this subtle concept. Most students don't understand this. Sir, when carbon undergoes sp hybridization, it is a sp hybrid orbital set, 2 sp hybrid orbitals separated by what angle, sir?
180 degree.
Now, suppose they are in the plane of your boat. Now you have another pure p orbital which is not involved in hybridization like this. How is this pure p orbital? It is lying above and below the plane of boat. Can you see it really? Can you
Yes,
see it really, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the plane of this sp orbitals. Hybrid orbitals are lying in the plane, whereas this pure p orbital is lying above and below this. You are not seeing anything here. Why you are not seeing anything here? It is below. Can you see it clearly?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
You can see.
Now, there is another pure p orbital which is not involved in bonding like this. It is lying in which plane, sir? Can you see it clearly?
Yes,
This is lying. This fellow is lying above and below. And how this fellow is lying? Let's change the color. Sir, all they are in different planes. I don't know whether you are feeling it or not.
Yes, sir. All are
One is
different.
X, one is Y, one is Z. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see?
Yes, sir. We can see.
When the fellow which is in this plane is overlapping with another carbon, let's take black color to carbon, which is sp2 hybridized. sp2 hybridized orbitals are 3 in number and they are separated by 120 degrees. This sp2 hybridized carbon is having a pure p orbital lying above and below. Okay, sir?
Yes.
Kindly observe, this is a sigma sp2 bond. This sp2 hybridized carbon overlapped with a hydrogen s orbital. It is sigma sp2s bond. Again, this overlapped with a hydrogen. It is sigma sp2s bond. Now, when you look at this, the pure p orbital lying above and below, they laterally overlap. When they laterally overlap, you got a pi bond. Okay, sir?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir. Now you have another carbon that is making a sigma sp2 hybrid orbitals. Hybrid orbitals are separated by 120 degrees. This fellow is again combining with a hydrogen, another hydrogen, that's okay. Now please observe, it has a pure p orbital lying like this. The angle between this is 90 degrees. Can you see how it is?
Yes,
This
sir.
pure p orbital is lying above and below the plane. This pure p orbital is lying in another plane. Can you see that? It is vertically up, it is horizontal. Can you see that? Sir, this is horizontal, sir. This is also horizontal, sir. These two horizontal fellows are overlapping. Now you got a situation very strange. It is like this. One part of the molecule is like this. Okay, sir? Okay. The other part is overlapping like this. above and below. The next part is overlapping like this. And this fellow is overlapping. This is a pure p orbital overlap. Notice that this is vertically above and below. This is horizontal. It is lying on the plane of both. It means in a molecule C double bond CH2, this is in one plane, this is in a different plane. Like when you are putting your hand, one hand vertically up like this, the other hand you are putting horizontal like this. Can you see it? This hand is horizontal, this hand is vertical. One is like this, one is like this. They are in different planes. Are we very clear about this, sir?
Yes.
In molecules where central atom is sp hybridized, terminal atoms are sp2 hybridized, this fellow and this fellow never lie in the same plane. Okay? If these two fellows are vertically up, this fellow is horizontal like this. They are in different plane. They are in different plane. Can you see it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
This carbon is making one bond horizontally, one bond vertically. Vertically with one carbon, horizontally with another carbon. Because it has a pure p orbital lying like this, a pure p orbital lying like this. sp hybrid orbitals are on the axis. So always allenes are never planar. In a allene, central carbon is sp hybridized, terminal carbons are sp2. And it is non-planar, non-linear molecule. Are you clear? Hello? This particular question you can see nowhere except in NCERT book. Not here. What is meant by hybridization? Intermixing of atomic orbitals to give strongly directional identical hybrid orbitals which can effectively overlap with other AOs and HOs to give strong sigma bonds. In compound allene, the first and the last carbons are sp2 hybridized, whereas the central carbon is sp hybridized. It is not a planar molecule. Look at the answer they gave. Long answer. No, it is not a planar molecule. They have shown you in different colors. The central carbon is sp hybridized. The sp hybridized carbons hybrid orbitals are indicated by blue line, whereas its pure p orbital, one is given with blue color, the other one is given with a red color. The blue color fellow
I
is
can't see your screen, sir.
You are not seeing my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Notice that the allene is not a planar molecule. In the diagram, they have shown clearly the central carbon is sp hybridized. Two blue lines are indicating sp hybridized overlaps, overlap with sp2. This line, the center line, is indicating sp2 overlap left side, sp2 overlap right side. Now vertically up and down blue indicates one pure p orbital. Horizontal in front and behind red, that is another pure p orbital. When they are overlapping with the terminal carbons, pure p orbitals, you got a pi bond, one is vertically up and down, another is horizontal, in front and behind. Overall, the molecule is not planar. If you carefully see, left side carbon hydrogens are in the plane of the bore, right side carbon hydrogen, one is going behind, one is coming towards you. It means the hydrogens of first carbon are not in the same plane as hydrogens of third carbon. Can you see this once again, sir? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The explanation is given here. Can you see?
Yes.
Now, in this booklet, they gave you questions and also answers. This is available in internet free of cost. I think I shared this book with you. Your task is to completely do all very short answer questions today. Short answer questions are given, even their solutions are given. For most of them, they give solutions. Your task is to do short answer questions from this book. There are in all long answer. Long answer questions are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw the possible first receiving questions. Short answer type questions. Consider structures 1 to 7 and answer the question 23 to 26. What is the first compound, sir? Hello.
So 1-butanol.
1-butanol and 2-butanol are called position isomers. Can you see them?
Yes, sir.
And also, if you look at third compound, 1-butanol and 2-methyl-2-propanol, they have same formula, but they have different structures, and they are called what, sir? How 1 and 3 are related? How 1 and 3 are related?
Structural isomers.
They are both having, OH group, both have same function group, but one is having a 4 carbons in one chain, one is having only 3 carbons in one chain. They are
Position, sir.
They are chain isomers as well as position isomers, because 1 and 3 are differing in the position of OH group, 1 and 3 are differing in the nature of carbon chain. First fellow is having 4 carbons in a straight chain. Third fellow is having only 3 carbons in a straight chain. There is a branch. So 1 and 3 are chain cum position isomers. 1 and 2 are only
Position
position isomers. What about 1 and 4?
Chain isomers.
They are
Chain
only
Chain
chain
isomers.
isomers. What about 1 and 5?
Functional isomers.
Both have same formula. If I look at C4H10O, if two fellows have same formula but different structural arrangement of atoms, they are called what isomers, sir?
Functional isomers.
They are functional isomers. What about 5 and 6?
Metamers.
They are called metamers because they have same function group. Metamers. What about 1 and 7?
So metamers as well as
Metamers.
sorry, functional
Chain
isomers as well
isomers.
as chain isomers.
Yes, sir.
And
With
functional
reference to
isomers.
1, they are functional isomers. With reference to 5, they are metamers. Look at question number 29. You can answer questions from 23, 24, 25, 26.
So first one 5 and 6.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now let us look at question number 27. Look at question number 27, sir. Are you looking at question number 27, sir?
Yes, sir.
If you are acidifying the lysine extract with H2SO4, you have a problem like silver nitrate addition can give you silver sulfate as precipitate. You should never acidify with something that can react with the reagent. Better to acidify with only diluted nitric acid. Let's see the answer as they given in the textbook. I want you to complete all the short answer questions today and discuss them. Doubts tomorrow. There are so many short answer questions. Exceptional reason by questions they ask in IITG. You have to see all the models. That's what I have to see. What is the answer given, sir?
Yes, sir.
When you are carrying out the lysine test for thiocyanide ion, that gives red color precipitate with ferric ions. If you are taking excess of sodium will destroy the thiocyanide to give cyanide and sulfide. So they interfere with the test. If the organic compound has both sulfur and nitrogen, if your reagent is less, you really get thiocyanide ions, which give blood red color. With what? Ferric ions. I want you to try all these 42 questions and look at the answers. Also, it has a descriptive explanation of difference between inductive effect and resonance effect. What are the difference between inductive and resonance effect? You see, standard NEET question and also a standard IIT mains question. So this is the book. Do you have this book, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Do you have this
No,
book?
sir.
No,
No,
or
sir.
yes?
No,
yes.
sir.
First time sending it. First I send and talk to you. Because this book has both I don't know how to share this. Anybody has a mail ID?
Yes, sir.
You type and why can't you download yourself otherwise? So try to download this book and do all the short answer questions and ask me doubts. Okay, every question they gave the answer. You should also refer the text. Can you see that? Why I should not acidify with sulfuric acid means when lysine test is, when the lysine solution is acidified with sulfuric acid, unfortunately you get silver sulfate as precipitate. You want to precipitate only silver chloride. but here you get silver sulfate. Read all the questions, try to answer them. Okay. Are we very clear, sir, what you should do? Hello?
Yes.
Unless you read the book and do this, I can't help you much. I want you to do that. Just wait. Let me take now one interesting conversion. In the NCERT book, you have to read line by line, sir. There is no compromise in that. I want to prove that all the ideas we have covered and revised right now. In coming 15 minutes, I am going to revise a topic called Basic Concepts in Organic Chemistry. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Entire book I am going to show you. Okay, ready? It's coming. It's on its way. Yes, it is on its way. Every line I am going to prove that you have done it. Every line. I am not going to leave a single line. Yes, the net is slow. Hello. Now I am sharing the screen.
Yes, sir.
Everybody should have this book. There is no exception. This is the book I have. I am coming from bottom to top. I start with the last page. Every line will cover it.
Your screen, sir.
Now it's visible now, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
There's a problem. I got a message. Are you seeing the screen now? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
स्नाइपर एक दो एमेटर भी है सर अब बैक कवर देता तो नहीं उसका
The last part of the chapter is how to find the percentage of oxygen in organic compound.
हाँ
Are you seeing the book, sir? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello? Hello? Sir, if you please cooperate, I require 15 minutes to cover the chapter. Will you please be silent? Hello? Hello, will you be silent for 15 minutes? Problem, man. I have to mute you. Yes, if you talk means I have to mute, I have to go back, time will be wasted. I have muted all of you. Now I have to share the screen. You are wasting time. Yes. Now I think you are seeing the book, right?
No, sir.
You
Yes,
are
sir.
seeing, no?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
sir, how to find the percentage of oxygen in organic compound? No need to find the percentage of oxygen. You take the sum of percentages of all elements. If it is not equal to 100, 100 minus sum of all other percentages is equal to percentage of oxygen. Suppose a compound has 30% hydrogen, 40% carbon, then you should automatically think 30 plus 40 is equal to 70, 100 minus 70 is equal to 30% is oxygen. Generally, they don't say percentage of oxygen. What you should do is sum up all the percentages, check whether it is 100,
Sir, your voice is not clear. We can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir, in this chapter, last part is how to find the percentage of oxygen. No need to find the percentage of oxygen. Oxygen percentage is equal to 100 minus sum of percentages of all other elements. I am getting disrupted easily. There is a net issue, I think.
Sir, then we'll continue tomorrow, sir.
Why you are so tired today? What is the problem today? You had exam? Sir, by tomorrow, I want everybody to have the NCERT book of 11th class, this chapter and exemplar problems. Your homework is to do all the short answer questions in this topic from exemplar. You should ask me doubts. I am
Yes,
discontinuing
sir.
the class. I am discontinuing the class. We continue tomorrow. I have no problem. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rather than-